Dear students, today we are going to begin our first lesson, India Relief Features. What do you mean by relief? Relief means the structure of the landform. What are the structures? A landform has different structures like hills, mountains, valleys. Okay, all these different types of structures. That is relief. So we are going to learn the relief features of India from north to south, east to west. Okay, so in this lesson we will learn about different types of relief features of India. We have learned about latitudes and longitudes in the previous classes. So we know what are the uses of latitudes and longitudes. What are the uses? Latitudes and longitudes are helping us to locate a place, and also these longitudes are helping us to settle time zones. We know that different countries are having different time zones, and even some of the countries like Russia, it has a different time zones in the country itself. Why? Because all these are settled because of the arrangements of the longitudes. So these longitudes and latitudes are helping us to find the places, locate the places, and also it helps us to understand the time zones of different countries. We have learned about hemispheres. Do you remember? From small classes onwards we are learning about the globe, and we are just experimented or observed how the globe is, and we know that we have learned that the earth is divided into hemispheres for understanding purpose. It's not original, it is for our understanding purposes. We divide it into different parts like a northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere. Okay, so do you know India belongs to which hemisphere? How the hemispheres are divided? We calculate the hemispheres from the equator. We know that equator is the 0-degree latitude. So 0-degree latitudes comes in the middle of the globe. So we calculate that the north part of equator is called as northern hemisphere, and south part we call as southern hemisphere. So our country India is located in the northern hemisphere. Okay, India is located in the northern hemisphere. India is also called as Indian Peninsula. Why? The land of India is called as Indian Peninsula. What is peninsula? Peninsula means a land which is covered by three sides by the water. A land which is covered by its three sides with water, we called as peninsula. We have learned in the previous classes. So why we called as Indian Peninsula? We call Indian Peninsula because India's mainland by the three sides we can see that it is covered by water. In the east, Bay of Bengal; in the south, Indian Ocean; and the west, Arabian Sea. So these three oceans are just covering the three sides of Indian mainland, and because of this reason we call India as an Indian Peninsula. Okay, India is covered by three sides by the sea. So we have to understand that from Gujarat to West Bengal, Gujarat in the west and West Bengal in the eastern part. So Gujarat to West Bengal we have a long coastal area. Okay, even including Andhra Pradesh has coastal area. It is one side of our state. We have a long coastal region in the side of Bay of Bengal. We know that. And just you imagine that we are in the Indian Peninsula. We live in India in the northern hemisphere, and we have very moderate climate here. And if India were in the Arctic Circle, what will be our situation? If we are living in the Arctic Circle, we know that our lifestyle will be totally different. Why? Because the temperature is very low, and because of the low temperature, -degree temperature, what happens? Many of the species, many of the living beings, even including human beings, the life is very difficult. And trees and plants, not all trees and plants can grow there. It's not possible. So the lifestyle, food, dressing, everything will be different if our Indian mainland were in Arctic Circle. Next is Indira Point. Indira Point, what do you know about Indira Point? Indira Point is the southernmost tip of Indian land. Okay, so where it is located? What's the specialty of Indira Point? I told you, it is the southernmost tip of Indian land. It is located in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So Indira Point is located in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and you must remember it because as a 10th class student, it is one of the very important question during examination time for 1 mark, also for mark pointing. For this both, Indira Point usually every year they used to ask the same question. And I have given all this information related to some of the questions given in the textbook, the first page of the first lesson. You might have observed it. Read it carefully, read the lesson, and you listen the class. Then it will be clear for you. Geographical condition of India is very different. India has a very vast land. Also, it's different parts of our country has different climatical conditions. So because of these different climatical conditions and the different features of the land, the lifestyle of the people different, the food habits of the people different, the crops they cultivate is different, and the jobs they do, the occupation of the people is different. Okay, you can just imagine, you can just think about the northern India, the south India, and the eastern India. The people's lifestyle totally different, and North Indian people's food habits different from the South Indian people. Our South Indian people's dressing style is different from the Northeast regions people. So it's all happens because of the structure of the landforms are different and the climatical conditions are different. We have a large coastal region, and the people, those who live in the coastal region, their lifestyle is totally different. Their occupation is fishing. When you come to the mainland, inland of India, the people's occupations, maybe there are farmers, mostly farming, and they farm different types of crops. There are cash crops are there, and food crops are there. So mainly if you come to South India, food crops and cash crops mixed. And if you go to North India, it is we know that because of the availability of water from the perennial rivers, food crops are mostly cultivated in the North Indian regions. So we have already discussed that longitudes are using for locating the time zones. Okay, so now what we have to discuss is what is the time zone, or what is the longitude passing through our Indian mainland, the main longitude passing through our land, that is 82 degree 30 minutes eastern longitude. 82 degree 30 minutes eastern longitude is passing through India, and it is correct place if you want to locate, it is near to Allahabad. Okay, where is Allahabad? Allahabad is in Uttar Pradesh. So our Indian time zone is calculated from 82 degree 30 minutes eastern longitudes. So this eastern 82 degree 30 minutes eastern longitude is 5.5 hours ahead from the 0 degree longitude. Okay, so how many longitudes are there? First of all, how many longitudes are there? There are 360 longitudes. Okay, and how many latitudes? We have learned from the small classes, but let me tell you for one time. It's how many latitudes? 180 latitudes. If we consider equator as the center part, 0 degree latitude as equator, down southern hemisphere it comes 90 latitudes, and northern hemisphere it is 90 latitudes. So 90 plus 90, 180. And from North Pole to South Pole, we know that longitudes are from North Pole to South Pole passing. And how many longitudes? 360 longitudes. And the middle part is 0 degree longitude, that we call as Greenwich line. This Greenwich line is passing through London. Okay, so from London to India, what is the time difference? That is 5 hours 30 minutes. 5 hours 30 minutes. So 0 degree longitude to 82 degree 30 minutes longitude, the time difference is 5 hours and 30 minutes. So our time zone we call as IST. What do you mean by IST? Indian Standard Time. Okay, so 82 degree 30 minutes eastern longitude is the time zone for India, and 5.5 hour ahead of 0 degree longitude, and IST we call Indian Standard Time. Now let's go to the next topic, geological background of the earth. Geological background of the earth and India. So we should know the formation of the continents first. I think in the previous class, in the 9th class, we have learned about the continents and its splits. I will tell you one more time. In the beginning, there was only one supercontinent existed. And do you know what is the name of the supercontinent? The name of the supercontinent was Pangaea. Pangaea was called as a supercontinent, single continent. Okay, and later this Pangaea was divided into 2 pieces. These 2 pieces has its own separate names. First one is Angara Land, and it's also known as Laurasia. Angara or Laurasia, that is the first one, and next one is Gondwana Land. So Pangaea supercontinent, it is divided into two parts, Angara and Gondwana Land. And first time Indian land form was in the part of Gondwana Land. India was a part of Gondwana Land. But in the later part, again Gondwana Land splitted and the part of Indian mainland moved towards north, and it reaches to the bigger continent, that is Angara. So Angara or Laurasia, okay, Angara's another name, Laurasia. So Gondwana Land is splitted and Indian landmass moved towards north and reached close to Angara Land. And when these Indian mainland reached to Angara Land, previously between this Indian land and the Angara Land, in the middle there was a sea existed, Tethys Sea. Okay, Tethys Sea. And what happened is, when these two plates, that is Angara and Indian landmass reached to Angara and collided, just hit each other, and what happened? Indian land joined with Angara Land, and because of this heat, what happened is, the heated part, it start to grow. In the middle, it start to grow. It heated each other and start to grow. So what happened? This collision of these two land masses caused the formation of folded mountains. Okay, do you know what is the name of that mountains? That we called as the Himalayas. The Himalayan mountain range was formed because of the collision of the Indian landmass and the Angara Land. So Angara Land was earlier itself existed with the Eurasian landmass. Okay, Europe and Asian landmass. So Indian landmass reached to Angara Land or Eurasian land and collided each other. In the middle, it grew like a folded mountains, and that mountain range called as the Himalayas. After the collision of Indian landmass and the Angara Land, the formation of Himalayas takes place. After the formation of Himalayas, the down part become a very fertile plain region. Okay, so it was the formation of northern plains. The down part of Himalaya, the northern plains, very large area of northern plains from west to east. If you want to say, it is from Kashmir to Arunachal Pradesh, the northern plains, along northern plains. Okay, so these northern plains are very fertile. Why? What is the reason? This northern plain is very much suitable for agriculture, because the rivers which is flowing from Himalayas, the perennial rivers, the rivers which are having water all through the year, it provides sufficient water. Also, when these rivers are flowing from Himalayas to downwards to the northern plains, it brings fertile soil and sediments from Himalaya mountains and deposited in the lower plains. So because of this fertile plain, it is suitable for agriculture. And northern plain is provided irrigation water from Himalayan rivers, also from the peninsula rivers from the south.